What's going on, guys? Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how to HydroDip your PlayStation 5 controller. Now there are a couple of videos on YouTube on how to do this, but they're not really that in-depth, so I decided to make a full-on 100% tutorial on how to do this the correct way, with all the steps included, and all the materials are also going to be listed down below. Now before we actually get started with this tutorial, I just want to give you guys a quick update. So I have officially announced my JMAGG merch, and if you would notice, you would go to my YouTube channel, you would see the new option that's at the top that says store. If you click on that, it'll show you all my merchandise that I have available at the moment, and when you click on that, it'll bring you to a website. It's called Teespring. That's the service that I'm utilizing at the moment, and you can purchase any of my merchandise there. So I'm actually going to be utilizing my merchandise as ticket entries into winning my future custom PlayStation 5 controller mods that I will be doing in the future. So every dollar that you spend on my merchandise is essentially one ticket entry into each of my controller giveaways. So for example, if you buy a $30 t-shirt, that's going to give you 30 entries into winning this custom PlayStation 5 controller. So the reason why I'm doing this is because these controllers, they do get kind of expensive, especially when I'm putting this much work into them, and I kind of feel bad that that I have to charge this amount of money for them. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to be able to win one while not being able to purchase them at full price. So if you'll see here, you could buy t-shirts, you could even buy a sticker for just 10 bucks, or the more you spend, the more entries you'll be able to win these. So go ahead, give it a look, let me know what you guys think. So I took this brand new PlayStation 5 controller, disassembled it, took everything out of it, took it all the way down to just the shell, and I also took apart the touchpad as well. So not only did I just get one controller, or two or three, but I actually got four. So the big news is actually that I'm going to be selling 3 of these controllers, and then one of them is going to be my new giveaway controller that is going to go along with my merchandise. So when you purchase that merchandise, you'll get one entry, and you'll automatically be entered into that giveaway. So $30 sweater, that's 30 tickets into that giveaway. Quick tip, when you're taking apart your touchpad, you just want to heat up the motherboard a little bit, and then you want to flip it over and then also heat up the touchpad itself. Then I just take these guitar picks that I had for taking apart cell phone screens, and then you just want to pry it underneath it, and then you'll start seeing the glue unstick. Then you can just go ahead and unpeel it. After that, you want to take some 1000 grit sandpaper and start sanding everything down. Now you want to make sure you sand everything down as best as you can, because the better the surface before you start spray painting it, the better the final result is going to be. Once you have everything sanded down, you just want to go ahead and take some warm water with some Dawn soap in it, wash off all the dust, and then transfer it over into some regular, just plain old tap water. And then you can go ahead and just dry it off with a regular towel. You just want to use something that doesn't induce any fibers onto the controller shells, because then they'll just stick to it. And once you dry everything off, I just went ahead and just blue taped everything, all the areas that I didn't want the paint to stick to. The better you mask everything off, the easier it is once you're finished, because you won't have to sand everything down to make the controller close 100% for you. So this is the coat that I'm using. It's just Rust-Oleum primer. And I went ahead and did a couple of coats on all these controllers. Now you just want to get it to a point where the controllers look dull. Once it's dull, that's how you know the primer is fully stuck to the controllers. And you want to remember to just do some light coats with the coat. You don't want to do heavy coats, because the thicker the coat, you can cause dripping. When you cause the dripping, your final result isn't going to look that well. So as you can see here, I have all my controllers 100% primed, and they are essentially ready to be HydroDipped. Now here is the HydroDipped film that I got. So it's actually from a company called Southern Hydrographics. I got it right off Amazon. I'll have it down in the description below. I think this was about 15 bucks, and this is pretty much enough to do maybe 6 controllers. And what you want to do is just cut a perfect square that's just the right size for your controller shell that you're going to be hydro dipping, because you don't want to waste this. As you can see here, I have a perfect square cut out. That's the correct size for my PlayStation 5 shell. And once you have a cut, now we have to actually add a border around the HydroDip film. Now this is actually going to protect the HydroDipping film when you put it in the water, because when you put it in the water without the border, your whole HydroDipping film is going to get ruined, and it's going to keep expanding, and the image won't look good anymore. So this border kind of keeps everything nice and together. So I've actually found the easiest way to do this is to take your blue masking tape and kind of tape off all the sides of the HydroDipping film while it's on top of a white piece of paper. After, when you do that, you can actually just take a pair of scissors and then cut around it and just leave a nice sliver of the blue tape around the HydroDipping film, and then that'll give you a perfect border around the film. Okay, so now that we have the film ready to go, all we have to do is test it and make sure that we are putting the correct side face down onto the warm water. And to do this, all you have to do is just wet your thumb and your index finger and then pinch the hydro dipping film, and whichever side that the film sticks to, that's the side that you want to put onto the warm water. As you can see here, I'm just laying it down, and you want to make sure that the corners are on there, and you 100% want to make sure that no water gets on the top of your film, or else it'll just get ruined. Once it's laid down on there, you'll start to see the film start to wrinkle. That means it's actually reacting with the water. So you just want to leave it like that for about a minute or two, and then you'll start to see these wrinkles kind of dissipate and disappear. That's when you want to take the Hydrovator by Southern Hydrographics. I'll have that in the link down below as well. And then you just want to do 2 quick sprays right over it, 2 or 3 quick sprays, and then you'll see the image start to clear right up right away, and it'll turn kind of glassy. That means the Hydrovator is working. This is actually what's going to make the hydro dipping film stick to your PlayStation 5 controller. So you want to make sure that you do this good. And once you spray it, you just want to wait 1 to 2 minutes, and then we can go ahead and just lay down our controller right onto the film, and we'll see what the results look like. So when you lay your controller onto the film, you kind of want to do it at an angle. You don't want to just go flat onto it. So as you can see here, I went from left to right, and then once it's fully on there, you want to kind of move it around while it's in the water underneath the remaining film that's at the top, because you don't want the extra film to get onto areas that you don't want it to be on the controller. And there you have it. Now you can take it out of the water, and we can take a look at it and see what it looks like. Now this is actually my first time hydro dipping, and all I can say is it's pretty easy, so anyone can do this. And as you can see from the results, it's already starting to look pretty amazing. So now that we have it hydro dipped, we can go ahead and bring it to some warm water. You just want to take some regular warm water and put the shell into that warm water and start moving it around. This is going to take off all that slimy residue that's on it, and that should do it. I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys another quick video of how I hydro dipped the shell. As you can see, I'm doing it at an angle again. You don't want to just lay it flat onto it. And once you think that it's 100% on there, you can just move it around underneath the water, and then that should do it. So moving away from hydro dipping, I figured I would also show you guys how I'm spray painting the controllers. So I took some high enamel red glossy spray paint, and the reason why I'm using the high enamel one is because that enamel is actually going to be hotter than the normal spray paint typically used, and that's going to ensure that the controller is going to last a long time. And for the other shells, I'm actually just going to be doing the same thing, but in flat black. This is kind of more of an experiment to see how many different variations of controllers I can do. And as you can see at the bottom, I'm also doing my PlayStation Media remote. If you missed that video, you can go ahead and check it out on my channel. That it's pretty much the same tutorial, different content. And there you have it. This is what the high enamel red gloss looked like. And what I'm going to be doing is putting some black splats on it to kind of symbolize the whole Venom look that I'm going for. So all you want to do is just spray the black spray paint into the cap, and then you'll see a little puddle form, and then you can kind of just fling it right at the controller. And that's going to give you a nice splat onto the controller itself. As you can see there, I just did a couple of test ones just to make sure I'm not putting too much in there, because if you do too much, you might get kind of like a big splat and it might not look as good. There it is, that's how it looks. So I actually did the same exact thing, but in reverse with the other black controller, and that even came out pretty good as well. So this is the best clear coat that I found so far. Now the reason why I say that this is the best clear coat is because it's actually a 2-part clear coat. It's made by 2K Max, and I'm going to have a link to this in the description below. And the way how it works, you essentially take off the red button cap that's on the top there, and then you put it on the bottom of the can, and then there's kind of a little needle. You just push it into it, and then it's actually going to start mixing those 2 chemicals that are inside of there together, and it starts a chemical reaction, and that's what's going to essentially make this clear coat really hard, so you don't have to worry about it ever scratching on you. Now you can also see that I went ahead with the clear matte finish. I figured that it would give this a pretty cool look, and you won't have to worry about fingerprints on any of these controllers. So I went ahead and I did 2 to 3 coats. I try to go to 3. You could do 4 if you want, but it's kind of unnecessary at that point. You just want to make sure you get every angle of the controller 100% covered with the clear coat, and then you'll be all set. And there you have it. So I have everything 100% clear coated with that matte clear coat by 2K. As you can see here, I think it looks pretty excellent. Now that it's a matte finish, I don't have to worry about any fingerprints forming on any of these. And yeah, overall I think it came out pretty good. So the next couple of videos that I'm going to be doing are going to be revolving around these controllers. So I'm going to be installing some LEDs in all of these, and I actually found some new LEDs that is going to make it a lot easier for you guys to be able to do the LED mod as well. And I also found some remap boards to be able to do the scuff mod too. So I'm going to show you guys how to put some custom buttons on the back of your PlayStation 5 controllers. So for example, on one of them I'll probably put like X and circle on the back, so that way there when you're running in a FPS game you'll be able to jump and then drop shot people really quick. Everything will be a lot more custom, so be on the lookout for those videos. And once these 4 controllers are done, I'm going to be selling 3 of them, and one of them is going to be my newest giveaway controller, and that's going to revolve around my new merchandise. So every $1 that you spend on my merchandise will give you that 1 entry. So if you buy a $55 hoodie or something like that, you're getting 55 entries and you'll be able to win this $220 controller for just 50 bucks. Or if you don't want to spend that much, I got some stickers on there that I think it's like 10 bucks. Just 10 bucks you can possibly win a custom modified PS5 controller with scuff buttons on the back with LEDs in all the buttons. And yeah, so that should do it. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know down below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thanks.